President Biden just releasing a new letter to House Democrats. It's very long. It says this: I want you to know that despite all the speculation in the press and elsewhere, I am firmly committed to staying in this race, to running this race to the end, and to beating Donald Trump. Democrats' doubts only accelerating after his big sit-down interview on Friday night. This is where he appears to miss a vital chance at reassuring supporters. Watch.
And if you stay in and Trump is elected and everything you're warning about comes to pass, how will you feel in January?
I feel as long as I gave it my all and I did the goodest job as I know I can do. That's what this is about.
Campaign advisors have their work cut out for them. And joining us now, former George W. Bush speechwriter Marc Thiessen and former Hillary Clinton advisor Philippe Reines. Philippe, I got your thoughts here about party unity and that being important and everybody sticking together. But I do really have to ask you, you've been around a long time. The Democrats are not just asking for President Biden to win an election. They're asking for him to serve for another 4 years as commander-in-chief, the leader of the free world. Are you comfortable that Joe Biden has the capacity and the ability to be the commander-in-chief for the next 4.5 years?
I'm comfortable with the system that the founders put in place, that when someone can't do the job, we have a vice president. That might sound trite, but, I've noticed that no Republicans, despite saying that the guy has lost it and shouldn't be president starting January 21st, 2025, have said that he should leave right now. I mean, if Mark is called for it, I haven't seen it, and maybe he does now, but it seems to be...
There's been a few.
There's been a few out of hundreds, and including your nominee.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just inconsistent.
I just have to say, it's just striking to me that you'll have somebody inside the White House, Mark, tell Axios, the reporter we just had on, that President Biden is only dependably engaged from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day. And remember the famous 3 a.m. phone call ad? I know, Philippe, you remember that ad from 2016. Yep. I mean, these calls and the weight of the world, it's on the shoulders of the president at all times. And so I do think that this is a valid question, regardless of him saying, I'm going to stay and I'm going to win. Question. But then the next 4 years, you think you can do this?
Yeah, I think my friend Philippe would not look into the camera and say that he believes that Joe Biden will be president in 4 years from now if he wins re-election. There's no chance in hell that Joe Biden will be sitting in the Oval Office 4 years from now if he were to win this election. And the reality is we have a constitutional crisis right now. If the Democrats take him off the ballot because he's too mentally, cognitively declined to serve as their nominee, how is he capable of being commander-in-chief? I mean, truly, not since Edith Wilson was running the White House after Woodrow Wilson had a stroke at the start of the last century, have we had this kind of a situation where the president is not capable of fulfilling his duties as commander-in-chief. He in that interview you showed, he couldn't answer the question as to why he should stay on the ballot. But a speechwriter wrote it for him in his letter. I mean, that letter that you just showed, that was a very articulate explanation of why he thinks he's the best person to beat Donald Trump. But when he was asked that, he couldn't say it. Because if he's reading a teleprompter, he can say things. If he sends a letter that somebody else wrote, he can say things. But if he's sitting with George Stephanopoulos, he can't even make the case for why he should stay on the ballot.
Hey, Philippe.
But Dana, this is pretty simple. When Joe Biden was 78, nobody said this. Mark didn't like what he stood for, but he didn't say this. Donald Trump will be 82. When he's in office,
okay,
and frankly,
but when he was 78, was he showing signs of
when he was 78, I didn't like him in office for anything he did, sane or otherwise.
It's not about a number, Philippe. Look, I was just in Chicago and I saw the Rolling Stones, and Mick Jagger was running around on that stage doing the rooster, pointing fingers. He's the same age as Joe Biden.
I think I just heard Marc Thiessen say that he wants to replace Donald Trump with Mick Jagger.
No, here's my last question for you, Philippe.
but
let me just ask one last question, Philippe, because you believe, and just for our viewers to hear your point of view, because I think it's important, that the election is winnable for Democrats, whether Biden is on the ticket or not. Is that correct?
I believe it's a choice between two guys. It is what it is. They're both old. I can't see in the future about either one of them. And the truth is that There's only one person that can decide what Joe Biden does. No one can make me go to the dentist except for me. No one can make Joe Biden step aside except for him. And he has made pretty clear what he's doing. I believe that this is winnable for him. Do I believe it's tougher today than 11 days ago? Of course it is. It was hard 11 days ago. But you know what? It was hard in 2020. He remains the only person who has beaten Donald Trump. I think he can do it again because of a simple fact. We've seen Donald Trump as president, and he was rejected. He was fired. I hope it happens again. If people want to vote based on his age...
We're at the beginning of a momentous week.
He's leading now.
Okay, so I want to take this conversation, and I want to have it again in a week, if we can, and just see how things change between then. Okay,
I'll be with you in Milwaukee, Dana. We can do it.
Take care.
Doing the rooster, Mark.
Thank you, Dana.